This is Nathan. Welcome back to another video. Today is Alternative Future of the World, Part 9. Whew. Well, new map. Yeah, Part 8 was recorded on the old phone. Yeah, it's probably a little bit weird. Because I can imagine some of the recent videos have been on the new phone. But anyway, Part 9, here we go. So in the last video, not much happened, just... You blame me with an old phone. So, we saw Brazil join the Axis, maybe even changing some of the ties around the Americas, because other than Nicaragua, nothing else is really bad down here. Bolivia got annexed by Brazil. Nicaragua invaded Honduras and was successful. Australia declared independence from Japan and joined the Allies. And I don't think much else happened. I think Egypt joined the Middle Eastern faction. But today we're going to be taking a look at a way bigger thing. Not, like, almost the entire world is in an alliance. We know that. All of Asia, except from Indonesia and Philippines are in an alliance. All of Oceania is in an alliance and will probably stay that way forever. Oh yeah, North Yemen. All of Africa is almost in an alliance, other than a few little ones here and there. In Ethiopia and South Africa aren't little, but you know what I'm on about. Nearly all of Europe's in an alliance, except from, like, Iceland and Romania and some others. South America, everyone here is neutral other than Brazil. North America, everyone's here. 3 countries here in an alliance. But Asia is... There's not many neutral countries left here. And most of that is because... Well, most of the dominance is the Pacific League. Japan, though, they've been growing a lot, and for the worst. See, a lot of rebellions have been wanting to take place. They've been annexing... They've been taking over a lot of land, and, well, let's just say, throughout a few years, that country's been going into, like, economic crash, all that. As most of the fact that they're just too big. Oh crap. I didn't know I was on Bucket. Most of the rebellions are in China. And we also have some in Southeast Asia. I said that, like, up here in Siberia, they want to get away. Manchuria wants to leave. Korea wants to go. Taiwan is independent. Well, they were after this, but just... Anyway, after, like, a ton of trying to hold this back, I can't believe it's in it, Japan breaks out into a civil war. Now, here comes the interesting part. This will also include their puppet. But Xinjiang and the Soviet Union, they don't really need to do anything about this. They don't want to. Xinjiang is not going to do anything. And the Soviet Union, even though they are one of the strongest countries in the world, they are not going to do a single crap about anything. They leave this to happen. And you want to know why? The Soviet Union has been planning to do this for a while, but the Soviet Union leaves the Pacific League. Yep. They've been in it for a while, but they finally leave the Pacific League. Oh, that is windy. Seems like this entire alliance is just basically collapsed as the biggest power is collapsing. Xinjiang is also going to leave with the Soviet Union, and Xinjiang and the Soviet Union are actually going to become pretty close allies. But Japan is on their own here, so let's just see the actual collapse of this country. This is what you call a civil war. 4 regions of Japan have broke away and basically just declared their independence. We have all of Southeast Asia other than Indonesia and the Philippines. The mainland of China, and yes, the puppet is included in this, so just realise it's not owned by Japan. Manchuria and Siberia. ignore the yellow. I just really should have got a better map, to be honest. But this is the downfall of Japan. Sure, the little puppet uprising they had, that was no big deal for them. This is complete. This is just complete collapse. This is the country itself, not puppets. So first off, the Chinese puppet does absolutely incredible. They push through the old Chinese lands, and eventually will meet up with the Pacific. So they meet up with the Pacific Ocean. And this will make it so any stuff going towards them will be able to get to them quicker. And yes, the Allies and the African. What was the name of this alliance again? I actually forgot. Oh, the African Order, I think. If it wasn't called the African Order, it's called the African Order. The African Order are also supporting this because they are a good alliance as well. So we have, this is the capturing the land shore, but this is also more and more rebellions popping up against Japan. We see Manchuria begin to push into some of their old land. And also, Korea's just gonna, do funny and just leave. So Korea will leave and join Manchuria. They're gonna be their own thing, because they don't want to be part of Manchuria, they just are part of the Manchurian Rebellion. And, as it seems, Japan is fighting against these rebellions, but even their own island doesn't want to be part of this. The people on the island, sure, that's the homeland of the country, but even they don't want, they are in support of this. The military is completely falling apart at this point. This is complete collapse. So eventually, Japan is going to collapse, as basically all of the Chinese lands are captured. I'm not calling it all in. So Japan will surrender and will draw a peace treaty with all these rebellions. That is it. Japan has collapsed. Let's take a look at this peace treaty. It's a lot to break down. First off, we can see Bangladesh is back, and probably to stay. Southeast Asia is completely released. All the countries are now united into one, and we're going to call it Southeast Asia. Just ignore the fact that Indonesia is not part of it, and the Philippines. China is back in all its glory, and honestly, I think China might actually be back better than it's ever been before. Sadly, Mongolia, they were a rebellion and they wanted to be independent, but they wouldn't be able to survive, so they just end up uniting with China. And that's mostly because the Soviet Union still holds most of their land. So they could have been the thing, but I don't think the Soviet Union's collapsing anytime soon. Korea split away and became their own thing. Manchuria is back. Siberia is back. And Japan has just been left down to, this. They've been pushed back down. They were massive. They have so much hand now. They've been pushed back down just to the main country right now in real life in Sakhalin. So, yeah, also Taiwan's independent, but they unite with China, because, again, like Mongolia. So, Japan is now definitely not the strongest country in the world. Being honest, that most likely goes back to Germany again. Then the USA, then the Soviet Union, then the British, and probably the French after that. I don't know, it could be USA. So USA could be I don't know though, because Germany is definitely strong. But now after that, you can tell there's a lot more neutrality in the world. Soviet Union and Xinjiang, but probably, to be honest, what I'm trying to say is the Soviet Union and Xinjiang are probably going to stay neutral. If the Axis goes after the Soviet Union, that would be a dumb idea, because I feel like Soviet Union is one hell of a force to deal with. And in all reality, Siberia is also not going to last long, so expect within the next few episodes, Siberia will just be part of the Soviet Union again. If we look at the Soviet Union, you gotta remember, they used to they were really small, and they've slowly got all the land back, and all they're missing now, really, is Siberia and Manchuria. Although Manchuria's never theirs. We're gonna come back down here to Romania, where they're gonna do something interesting. They are really small. I don't know why I'm laughing at this. They're really small. That's what I'm trying to point out. But they're gonna form their alliance called... You wanna know what it's called? The Order of Security. Wow. So iconic. Totally not like they've already done that before. If you don't know, yes, the Romanian president from back all the way from season 1, he's come back to this and he's formed the Order of Security again. And being honest, the entire world, except from the Allies, because they know of the Switzerland's told them of this, the entire world is literally looking at Romania like, what the hell? And to be honest, I'll be doing the same thing. They formed an alliance and nobody is joining it. Anyway, with all these new countries over here, they're going to do nothing. They're just all going to stay neutral. And we finally see unification between Australia and Australia. Yeah, that they didn't really last long. Anyway, Australia's back to be normal. Anyway, the African Order. Let's talk about it. It is an alliance between a ton of African countries. And let's be honest, it's a pretty big alliance. But, yeah, like all alliances, not all the countries here want to stay in it. One of them, such as Nigeria, who joined it really for no need. The African Order is not really a defensive pact. The only way it will be a defensive pact is up here against the Middle Eastern faction. Speaking of them, they're about to do something big. Anyway, but a lot of the countries here just don't see the need of this alliance. I'm being honest. Algeria, Mauritania, Sudan, and Swahili, yeah, sure, they want to stay part of it. Everyone else, not so much. They form the alliance, and it's most of the time it's literally like a neutral pact. It's not a defensive pact. Although if one country gets invaded, the others don't need to help. So there's not really much point of it. So Nigeria will leave this pact just to go neutral. For now, this abomination will stay in it. The Sahrawi Republic will not be leaving because they kind of need to stay in it. But what am I talking about? The Middle Eastern faction is going to do? Well, now that their biggest threat, the Pacific League, has been eliminated, they are going to go full expansionist. They didn't want to do anything to really anger the Pacific League, but that alliance has now ceased to exist. So Egypt, who just recently joined, they're gonna go on a bit of a little conquest into one of their neighbours. You know, it's obvious. Egypt declares war on Libya, and Libya literally just got their independence, so yeah, Libya might be a bit screwed. Egypt sends all of their forces into Libya and will take back a piece of land that they used to own when they were like, I don't know, they used to own it. If they would have kept that piece of land, they would have been. It's a pretty important piece of land. It's on the coast, so we have all the Egyptian forces pushing through Libya at a rampaging rate. And as we can see here, Libya is not that strong. We actually see Algeria join this war, kind of breaking the thing. But Algeria wants Tunisia. Just I don't know. So Algeria will send their forces in to capture Tunisia. Kind of angry in Egypt, but also not at the same time, because honestly, Algeria and Egypt are actually quite friendly. We see the Sovereign Republic kind of allowing access for Algeria to invade Libya, and as it seems, Libya is going to eventually surrender to Egypt. Let's take a look at this peace treaty. Treaty, oh, that is some horrendous border. I did not even realise how ugly that was. Okay, let's just do something. So, with how ugly these borders are, Algeria is going to make an agreement with the Sahrawi Republic to buy some land. Although, I don't know why Algeria is wasting their money on this. Totally not because they want to fix the border or anything. Totally not. But we see them buy land from the Sahrawi Republic, which honestly doesn't even affect the Sahrawi Republic because it was just desert. And Algeria is technically got all the land back. So Algeria can now head over to this part of the land way easier now. Egypt got their fair bit of land and they're pretty happy, I would say. Oh my god. Although this does come at a warning for Algeria, saying if they do one more war thing, they will be kicked out of the alliance, the African Order. Because what they did was actually breaking the rules of the African Order. It says that no country in the African Order shall declare war on any other country. Algeria just broke that rule, so they're kind of getting a warning, hey, you just broke one of our rules. Don't do that again, or else you're being kicked out. Honestly, I don't think Algeria would care that much. Sure, it would hurt them because Algeria is probably their strongest country, and they only lost Nigeria. But now, finally, for the final thing in this video, we see kind of a mini UN be formed. What do I mean by mini UN? Well, the UN in real life was formed after World War II, but this UN just got formed now, and I'll say it's 1980 something. So we're nearly up into 2000, so we have the UN being formed, and the big five are the top five powers. So Germany, this Soviet Union, the USA, UK, and France. I think that's all of them. What's that, 4? No, that's 5. So those are the big 5 in this world. Not every country is in it. I'd say around, not even half the world is in it, but more and more countries are joining. But I've always made that all colonies have to be given independence. And even if the colonies don't want independence, they need to be granted independence. So that goes to every country that has a colony. Not all countries might agree with this, but obviously the big 2, France and UK, will... Actually, France doesn't have any. France does. UK doesn't have any because they lost it all. Well, you have one. Okay, so France, Portugal, Spain, and the UK will all be forced to release their colonies. It can only be the country itself. So, they're fine with this, because, to be honest, at these parts of the land, we're not even asking for independence. We're not even asking for independence. So France will release that thing. Angola will be released. I would say Angola would probably be the one to be asking for the independence the most. Not even that much, to be honest. Mozambique will be released. And finally, yeah, I said finally, we have Arabia being released. Yeah, I know, maybe some confusion around Saudi Arabia and Arabia, but we have them being released. Now, actually, Arabia will stay in the Allies, because, well, after what just happened to Libya, yeah. But for everyone else, they're not going to be staying in the Allies. Everyone else goes on their own ways. Now, one country is denying all of this. Spain is not in the UN, so they are saying, if we're not in the UN, we don't have to release Morocco. And this will bring up tensions between the Allies and the Axis, because Spain has a colony. They need to release it, but they're refusing. So, for now, the Allies do nothing about it, and I guess the UN, I don't even know if we call the UN, but it's called the UN for now. The UN will basically just give Spain some warnings. They say, we'll give you 25 years to release Morocco, and if that 25 years, if Morocco is not released by then, it's war. So yeah, Spain has around 25 years to release Morocco, or else it's war against the Axis. Now, Germany, knowing this, they know they would lose against the Allies, so Germany says to Spain, maybe just release Morocco. Spain, being stubborn as they are, says no, because they are getting money and stuff from it, so no. Italy is a puppet. That's different. The Allies were thinking about Italy, but Italy is a puppet. It's not a colony, so Italy is classed as fine. You can still have puppets, but just no colonies. So that's it. The colonial era is finally over. No more colonies. And that's going to be it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in part 10. Wow, 10 episodes already.